Your friends probably have more friends than you do. Beyond being possibly more fun and attractive, this is also due to a curious yet true phenomenon called the friendship paradox. First described by sociologist Scott Field in a 1991 article, the conclusion is clear. Most people, on average, have fewer friends than their friends have. How can that be? The friendship paradox stems from the typical structure of social networks, by which I mean real-life friendship networks, not just online ones, although the principle applies to them as well and even reaches into other surprising areas. More on that later. Social networks are often organized so that there's a small number of highly connected individuals, while the majority have fewer connections. These few with many connections pull the average up disproportionately. Imagine a class of 10 students. Generally, each student forms a group of friends with 2 others, but there's one very social student who is friends with 6 classmates. This has interesting implications. In this group, for example, this person has 2 friends who each have 3 friends. This means that this person has fewer friends than their friends do. From this person's viewpoint, one friend has 2 friends, another has 3, and the third has 6. Thus, their friends have an average of 3.7 friends, showing again that they have fewer friends than their friends. The same goes for this individual, and the setup is similar in the other groups. So the whole class, aside from the popular student, has fewer friends than their friends do. This can also be explained by something called sampling bias, a statistical error that occurs when the data sample used for conclusions isn't representative of the entire population. For instance, if you regularly go to the gym, you're more likely to meet people who frequent it often rather than those who seldom or never go. This could lead to wrong conclusions about the fitness level of the average gym goer. In the case of social networks, it means that if someone has many friends, it's simply more likely you'll be one of their friends. In other words, the odds of being friends with someone who has very few friends are quite low. As I mentioned earlier, the friendship paradox also applies beyond real-life friendships. It's very obvious in online networks, for instance. A 2012 study found that the average Facebook user had 245 friends, while the average friend of a user had 359 friends. Around 90% of Facebook users have fewer friends than their friends. Or consider Instagram. You'll likely find that most people you follow have more followers than you. The friendship paradox extends into less obvious areas too. For example, it applies to romantic relationships. Statistically, it's likely your partner has had more previous partners than you. Another example could be this video itself. It probably has fewer views than videos you've watched before. The same goes for music, where the artists you listen to may have more listeners than the average artist. If you're playing an online game, chances are that you'll face opponents who play more hours and more frequently than you. So, is this paradox actually useful? Not necessarily, but there's one potential application. In 2010, researchers conducted a study to predict flu epidemic spread using the friendship paradox. They contacted 319 students, grouping them into a random set, and a group instructed to name their friends. This identified a set of 425 more socially connected students. The researchers monitored flu symptoms in both groups, discovering that symptoms appeared in the second group 2 weeks earlier on average. Because these individuals have more connections, they're more likely to contract the flu. This serves as another confirmation of the friendship paradox and shows its potential use in predicting epidemic spreads. That's all for today's video. Give it a like, and good night.